What's up, everybody? It's Regent. My voice is a little bit congested today because I've been sick for the last 3 days, so please excuse my sniffly, shitty voice. But anyways, today's story is from about 6 months ago, and it was from when I was trying to move out of my parents' house, and this story has a little less drama in it, but still contains the same amount of weird bitches as per usual. So here we go. So this happened about 6 months ago, and my parents live up in Sacramento, and I was trying to move down to San Diego. And I'd actually been living down in San Diego going to college for one semester, and I was staying at my grandma's house, but she actually lived a long ass ways, like almost 60 miles away from the college I was going to, and it was just an absurd drive every day. It just wasn't even worth it. So if you didn't know, Sacramento and where I live now in San Diego is about 550 miles away, and that's a long ass ways, at least for like commuting. So it's also really expensive to live down here in this part of California. It's expensive to live in most parts of California, but especially down here. And so I was looking through all my options. I was looking through fucking apartments, rental places, and everything. And my mom actually recently became a realtor, so she had this fucking brilliant idea of buying something called a modular home. And they're really weird the way they work. It's basically like a small house that's kind of built off of a trailer, and then they're in like a park, and you buy the house, but you rent the property that it's on in like these weird ass parks. And it seemed like the best way to go, because at least we could like slightly invest our money instead of just throwing it all away on an apartment. So that's what we initially tried to do. We had one all set out. I went down and looked at this one that I really wanted, and we even put an offer in on the fucking house and shit. And I think the people were about to accept it, and that was great. I was really excited about this little house, and I had my roommates ready to go and shit. Come to find out, the park notifies us that we need to have an interview with the managers there, and they needed to basically approve us to live there. And I think that's some bullshit, because I don't think you should have to be approved to live in a place. They needed to know like our jobs and our income and why we were there and shit, and it's kind of just not their fucking business. Like, if we're paying, we're gonna pay their goddamn money. And they had the credit check and everything on us, so I don't know why they were worried. But anyways, this was an issue because my dad needed to be there, because he was the main name on the lease, or whatever the fuck you call it. And I was also in Sacramento at the time because I was up for Christmas break. So we were both in Sacramento. We couldn't fly down on the fucking day because that would have been really fucking expensive. So we decided we were going to drive down there, and it's about 8 hours of driving. I once made it in about 6, hauling ass down the 5 because there's no fucking cops. But usually if you set the cruise control at 80 in my car, at least, usually by the time you leave the house to the time you get there, it takes about 9 hours, and that was a similar statistic to what it actually took driving in my dad's truck. So we made our way down there, and the plan was to drive down there and then do this fucking interview, and then somehow muster up the strength to drive all the way the fuck back in the same day. That's approximately 18 hours of driving just for a half-hour interview. And so that's what happened. We get up 4 in the morning, leave my house in Sacramento in the truck, gas the bitch up, and haul ass cheeks down there. I don't think that math adds up, actually. We get there at some point. So we pull into this community. We made it on time, and we go up to find the weird ass office, and we try to open the door to the manager's office, and it's locked. So we knock, and we wait a minute for her to come answer the door, and nothing. So we were a little bit concerned. We just drove about 9 hours to see this bitch, and nobody's there, and we couldn't just wait around all day and wait for her. We definitely couldn't have her be a day late or put it off till another day or some crazy shit like that. So we got a hold of the lady. I don't think she answered our first couple phone calls, which was very disconcerting, but we got her on the phone eventually, and she said, oh yeah, I'll be there in a minute. And at the time we were down at Starbucks, so we asked her if she wanted anything because we were trying to be polite and get our ass cheeks into this fucking community. There you go, this is beautiful. So she says she's there, so we head over there. So we get back to the community, and we open the door of the office, and I was very interested in the person that was sitting behind the desk because she wasn't any kind of professional looking lady or anything like that. She looked like she blowjobbed her way into that position because she clearly had plastic from head to toes, and the best word I could use to describe this woman was bimbo. So draw an example of that in your mind and it's probably exactly what you think. So we sit down and talk to this lady. She's a little bit weird. She's definitely not very charismatic or open to talking to people. She seems more like the kind of person who would be a gold digger or a trophy wife. I don't really want to be that mean about her because she was a nice lady. She wasn't like a total bitch, but she wasn't very responsible and she wasn't very good at her job. So we do sit down, have the weird little interview. She basically just had us sign a bunch of paperwork, and then she informed us that we needed some sort of deposit, not actually the deposit on the rent of the property, but just kind of like a $15 deposit on like a lease deposit or some shit. I don't know, but it was only like 15 bucks, and she was adamant that we needed it. There was no waiving that fucking fee. So she said the only way that she'd accept it is in the form of a cashier's check or some shit like that, or a money order or something. So we were like, well fuck, nobody told us we needed that. So there's a CVS across the street, and my dad got him, was like, I'll just go get one, it's across the street. And he goes, leaves me with this lady, really awkward, very seldomly talked to her for the whole like 15 minutes that he was gone. And then he comes back and opens the door and says, well, you want to go try? Those were like his exact words, and I was really confused, like, what the fuck do you mean? He said, you need your ID to do it, and I didn't bring my ID, I left my wallet here. And I was really confused. I thought, why the fuck did you leave your wallet here if you went to go get a money order? But he did, and I'm not going to blame him for that. He just did that, and so I said, sure, I'll go try, at least I don't have to sit in this room anymore. Well, I didn't say that, but that's what I thought. I said, sure, I'll go try. So I go across the street, try this, brought all the correct shit, got the money order. I'm pretty sure I left my ID there, or my credit card or something. And in the end, everything was fine. I got the fucking thing, gave it to her, she was happy. And then we left. And everything was fine to our knowledge. We were kind of concerned because she really didn't seem like she knew what she was doing. But anyways, things were mostly good. So we were headed back to Sacramento. So we get in the truck, we're like, fuck, alright, well, 9 hours of driving here, and now we're ready to do another 9 hours of driving back. So we go gas the truck up, start heading back up the fucking 15, all the way around LA, and then back up through the fucking 5. I ended up doing most of the driving because I don't give much of a fuck. I like driving a lot. But on the way back, it was obviously getting dark, and there was a lot of traffic until we got away from LA. So eventually we got on the 5, which shoots you all the way from LA to Sacramento. So we get on the 5 and we start heading up. My dad was asleep and it was dark, and to top everything off, it was raining hard as fuck all the way up to Sacramento. So I just kind of sat there and started driving. I thought, well, I'm kind of bored. I'd kind of like to listen to some music. And I know you're not supposed to do this, but I didn't want to turn on the radio because my dad was asleep. So I put on my headphones, my over-the-ear like quiet headphones, and then I ramped up the volume on them, and I just listened to them, and I put both my hands on the wheel, and I was doing like 80, and I was overtaking shit, and by the time I was like in the clear roads, it felt like I was driving a fucking spaceship. Like I had this music on, taking me away from like all the realness of the situation. There was rain coming at me, and like in the headlights it looked like stars in like hyperdrive, and then I was just like hauling ass on this road through the dark night. Other interesting portions of the story, I know when we were on our way back, we went through a really heavy patch of water, and the truck basically hydroplaned from one lane to the next over a course of probably like 50 yards or more, and that was terrifying, but it kind of just didn't end in disaster, so I just kept on going. And yeah, that was pretty much it. We got back to Sacramento at like 3 in the morning or something stupid. I don't actually know the time, but it was late. It was late as shit, and we went to bed. And what's really a kick to the dick is we never end up moving into that place because They had some bullshit shit in their contract, and we just never ended up moving in. So it was a complete waste of time and money. And so yeah, thanks for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.